Hello everyone, my name is Rafael Rodrigues. I'm a mechanical engineering student and I will present my scientific research with the title of Numerical Analysis of Conduction and Thermal Contact Resistance in Multi-Layered Cutting Tool. And these are the co-authors of this work. For this presentation, I will follow this script, introducing the work, commenting on the methodology used, then presenting the results, and finally concluding it. Well, the study of the heat transfer in the cutting tool is very important so that the machining processes can be improved in several areas. In order to carry out this study, the thermal and geometric parameters of the set under analysis should be investigated, as shown in the figures on this side, to seek a better temperature distribution in the cutting region of the tool and thus extend the tool life and minimize machining costs. With this in mind, this work will verify the importance of applying coatings on cutting tools to achieve these goals. To solve the problem raised, the set to be analyzed was first developed. It was considered a carbide cutting tool, a tool holder, and a shim. In order to verify if there is effectiveness in the use of coatings to improve the tool life, simulations will be carried out considering two cases: one case without the use of coating, and the other case considering the use of three layers of coatings, being them of titanium nitride, alumina, and titanium carbide. The thermal model in use is described by the transient three-dimensional heat diffusion equation, which is presented in this slide and considers properties that vary with the temperature. There are some boundary conditions that have been adopted to then consider the properties to be variable with the temperature. They were the convection and radiation boundary condition and the imposed heat flux boundary condition, as shown in the slide. In addition to these, there is also the initial temperature condition, which is a prescribed temperature that is constant for the three bodies, or four in the case with coating, so that they are all in thermal equilibrium. For the numerical solution of the problem, the commercial package console was used, which has several built-in numerical methods that consider the physics of heat transfer in solids, such as the finite element method and others, which solve the diffusion equation of heat by transient radiation. In the computational mesh applied in the problem, 36,368 tetrahedral elements and 150,185 nodal points were used. This figure on the right is the representation of the computational mesh used by Grzyk 2006, also showing the arrangement of the coating layers that was considered in this work. In the three figures below, the computational mesh used in the set under analysis is shown. Then it's possible to check the arrangement of the tetrahedral elements and then, in the photo on the far right, the arrangement of the elements in each coating layer. Another factor that was considered in the work in order to seek a better representation of the real case is the thermal contact resistance (TCR) between the parts under analysis. In order for the COMSOL software to calculate the contact resistance, it was necessary to collect the data used as parameters between any two domains from the literature, namely the convective heat transfer coefficient present in the air-filled interstices, the mean surface roughness, the slope of roughness peaks, the softer surface hardness, and the contact pressure. In this work, the values adopted for the required parameters were taken from the work of Correia Ribeiro 2018. And to obtain the temperature profiles that will be used in the comparison between the two cases, numerical probes were implanted along the cutting tool. The probes are evenly distributed over the first 10 micrometers, which is, which is the thickness of the coating adopted. This figure on the side demonstrates how the positioning of the 11 probes is done along the set in both cases, and they are represented by dots in the color green. In order to validate the numerical methodology implemented in this work with the experimental results obtained in the work of Carvalho 2005, numerical simulations of the thermal influence of the mesh refinement were carried out considering an isolated carbide cutting tool, as shown in the figure in left, sorry, and using COMSOL metaphysics showing the largest deviation found in relation to the experimental case of Carvalho 2005 being 8.78% for the thermocouple T2. For the comparison made between the values found in the numerical probes used in the two cases, it was observed that the case with coating presented satisfactory results in relation to temperature variation between the probes, with a maximum variation of 24 degrees Celsius, as shown in the graph on the curve in blue. The graph in this slide compares the temperature variations of the probes of the two cases in this work with the probes of the two cases analyzed by Correia Ribeiro 2018, being them the case without coating and the case considering an alumina coating. The following conclusions can be presented in relation to the numerical results obtained for the thermal model of heat transfer in coated and uncoated cutting tools. First, the results of the present work were in agreement with the numerical results obtained by Correia Ribeiro 2018. Also, the studies carried out showed that for a uniform heat source with time variation, considering a surface of constant contact between the chip and the tool, the temperature in the tool is directly influenced by the coatings when the thermal properties of the coating are different from those of the substrate, even for a thin coating of 10 micrometers. Also, the coating layer deposited on the analyzed cemented carbide tool presented satisfactory results during the continuous cutting process. A variation of approximately 24 degrees Celsius was observed between the numerical probes under analysis in the case considering the three multi-layers of coatings. And the present analysis of heat transfer in multi-layered coated carbide cutting tools revealed promising characteristics in the study of tool life, cost reduction in dry machining processes, reduction of time spent in the study of thermal influence coatings, and reduction in the number of experiments, as well as characteristics that are also validated in other works such as Kuziak et al. 2005 and Maruzic et al. 2002. Now, I would like to thank my colleague co-authors, then the COBEM organization, and also to Unife for the infrastructure provided. These are the references used in this presentation, and now I'm open for questions. Thank you very much.